This is the process shot. I'm Michael. I'm stuck in a haunted movie theater, and I've seen Last Year at Marienbad, a French romantic drama from 1961, directed by Alain Resnais. It's a movie that takes narrative experimentation and new wave stylization to an extreme in its story of an unnamed man and woman who meet at a luxurious hotel during what seems to be a social event. The man insists that he and the woman had met the year prior in a hotel just like that, but not necessarily in the same location, and that she had asked him to wait a year to be sure their romantic affair was more than just a fling. She insists that she's never met the man at all, to which he continues to press the subject. It's an ongoing conversation that puts them both at the center of events, to the point that they may as well be separate from the rest of the hotel's guests, save for a man who may or may not be the woman's husband. It's not very easy to describe the movie in a simple summary because the overall style is part of the substance. They go completely hand in hand, which isn't too difficult to accomplish given how relatively simple the actual story happens to be. It's entirely focused on the three characters, and mostly the man and woman who may or may not have met, and even then it's more of an ongoing dialogue between the two rather than anything more eventful. So the actual structure at hand is bare enough to work with in a number of ways. This film chooses to put its creative juices into the actual presentation of the story, becoming a sort of realization of a person's thought process and how they access memories, volatile as they may be. It actually seems to play into the simplicity of the story by focusing on the man and woman while tuning everything else out. The world around the two becomes vague and confusing, not only as it jumps through time and location, but also in the architecture itself, as the hotel becomes a winding maze with no discernible sense of direction in its design, and where one door could lead into many different rooms. Meanwhile, the other guests are effectively living statues, not at all important to the memories being accessed, but still present on the outskirts, with only vague fragments of their own conversations making their way through to the main characters. In any case, the film's offbeat storytelling design is only further defined by its technical elements. The cinematography and editing only propel this aesthetic further and further, of course, starting with the slow and well-paced movement of the camera within shots and through locations, making some scenes more like a wandering, self-guided tour more interested in the building than wherever we're going. It's heightened further by static shots that bring attention to the aforementioned living statues of the past, where strangers stay completely still while the man and woman walk between or around them, or shots that are wide and still to showcase the emptiness of a location, whether it be the hotel grounds or an interior. The film's editing is especially impressive for what it does, being able to weave the many disjointed elements of the characters' search through memories into a comprehensible package. That is, it seems like with almost every cut, we jump from one time or location to another, sometimes back to a previous scene, and other times to something entirely different. But it's all brought together in an excellent manner that doesn't shift from one scene into the middle of another for no actual reason. It's effectively a stream of consciousness, moving with the flow of the characters' memories and their loosely connected nature. It's certainly confusing at times, of course, but it's not completely impossible to understand, especially if you stick to the more familiar elements of the story. Last year at Marienbad, Alain Resnais, 1961. 4.5 stars. It would be a bit of a rough one if you went in not knowing what to expect, but I'd still recommend watching this movie. That's it for this review. If you liked it, leave a like. If you have something to add, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. Not sure what else to say here. Mostly because the movie says everything it needs to say. There is a bit of a language barrier, though. Not because it's French, I mean.